It is currently, like I said, 3:43 p.m. and let me show you what is that directed light while these demons are creating audible activity, as you hear in the background. And what is absolutely impossible light activity, nowhere coexists. Do you see that? That's directed light right in front of the bathroom, leading into the bathroom. And they're pacing, following inside to engage in surveillance. And these are demons that already know what you're doing when your panties are down. That's impossible light activity. If the actual sun was over the Fontana Lewis Library, as I showed you at 3:40 p.m., all right, while the state was aiming directed light all inside of the computer lab, this is not light activity that's going to coexist. That's a demon in the men's restroom, okay? They're all monitoring together while the demons patrol inside of the women's restroom. That's directed light. That is directed light. Let me be clear. First of all, that's a covered entrance. Second of all, that is reaching into the depths. That's absolutely impossible. And also, you're talking about what is 3:40 p.m. as I show you on video, the fake sun over the Miller Amphitheater over me at the Fontana Lewis Library. This is the sex offender that are the people of the state. The sex offender that is the OVITT Family Community Library. That's why directed light is in that bathroom. That's why sex offenders enter inside of that bathroom. And let me be clear, sunlight is not only not reaching underneath an entrance, it is not piercing through to the opposite side of this thick pane. That's impossible, okay? That's directed light, that's a sex offender. That's the light source remaining. This is P.O.C., remember? This is plain activity. The sex offender that's monitoring already knows where I'm at, which you know because the fake sun is here. That's audible activity. And what is just a random line of directed light in front of me. Directed light moving around. They're monitoring, including FEDEX. They're being a sex offender. They're creating light activity under the fake sun, okay? Amplified audible activity as I am at the door. This is Satan looking the opposite direction, keeping an eye on me, a psychopath. Monitoring with the minions who are entering inside in what is directed light, impossible light activity, walking through random directed light that's present. That's a demon, keeping their eye on you. They don't have to look at you. That's ongoing concerted conduct. FedEx engaging in bathroom monitoring. That's what that commercial actor is doing. It's a demon in a commercial vehicle, engaging in surveillance altogether. And this is not also over the Miller Amphitheater, aiming sunlight onto the floor spanning across the Fontana Lewis Library. That is not the case. This is the fake sun that I showed you as I arrived at the OVITT Family Community Library here, which is also not mutually remaining over the Fontana Lewis Library. This entity is engaging in sexual violence. That's the prosecution of the people. Satan, okay, operating over a person who does not need to talk to you. She's telling you she's stalking you and she's surveilling you by virtue of the fake sun and the directed light that this demon is walking in intentionally to monitor me. Okay? That's P.O.C. That's inexplicable light in front of the door that Satan is walking in. That's P.O.C. And let me be clear, this demon knows what I'm doing inside of the bathroom while my panties are down. That's P.O.C. Okay? And it is 3:45 p.m. That is OVITT Family Community Library. Fat, overweight, demon-possessed stalkers monitoring me in the restroom, just like that. And every pervert gets their kicks. Any ordinary pervert driving a FedEx vehicle, getting their kicks, getting their rocks off, engaging in surveillance with the government that engages in that conduct, which is sexually violent. All right? Demons alike. That's directed light while that demon backs up. It's P.O.C. All right, it is 3:46 p.m. and this is also with knowledge as the fact that the entity is monitoring, that I am documenting the entity. That's also going to what is that sexual violence. All right, P.O.C. And that was what you hear on podcast while the entity is patrolling in and out of the bathroom.